Hey guys, King Janet here, and welcome to another random little DSP video I decided to make. And I promise I will try and speak as coherently as possible this time, and not just naturally go into my very fast flow of talking. I've got a very bad habit of I try and start talking kind of slow so people that are foreign can understand what I'm saying, but I naturally do tend to start talking way faster. And it's hard to control. It's just what I'm used to speaking. I'm used to speaking at my normal fast flowing speed. It's the Glaswegian dialect. I can't help it, but I will try my best this time around. Anyway, enough about that. This video I decided to make was about the bank leaks that DSP had, but specifically the origin of the bank leaks. A lot of people seem to still be confused about how this happened. Also, most people just kind of care about what the information actually has. It's like, oh, how much is Phil spending on DoorDash and his mortgage and microtransactions and how much does YouTube pay him and all that. Also, that's what I've been interested in as well. But a lot of people seem to be very confused about the whole origin of the bank leaks themselves. So I thought I'd try and share as much as I could that I know is factual information and kind of go through it bit by bit. Video hopefully won't take too long. I'll try my best not to drag things on too much. Started on 18th September 2021. A guy called Boof randomly makes a new account on Kiwi Farms and reveals that DSP only has $148.90 in his bank account. Now, naturally, people call sus straight away because it's a very bold claim to make without any evidence to back it up. And Boof is basically saying, yeah, I can provide evidence. Here you go. And he just provides all of a sudden straight away provides evidence of this information. He's got the information handy there. He's telling them to use this phone number for Bank of America. You enter in this information, and I believe, I'll put it this way, it's incredible that Bank of America, the kind of security protocols they have, or this kind of Slack, where they allow anyone has enough information to basically access this information. So some of this is on them as have responsibility for failure to protect our customers, but this is simply a case of this guy. Now, let me make clear here as well. Even though Bank of America have poor security for their customers, what Boof did was wrong legally and ethically, really. As good as it is to understand this about DSP, he's committed a crime. There's no two ways about it. He fucking says so himself later on. I'll show you that as well. Boof, in fact, it's right here. Right here, and was what I did was fucking illegal. That's what Boof said. I'm just going to close that first topic, that first page anyway. But as I'm saying, Boof clarifies, so I'm not that much more, but here's what you need to know. Any one of you guys could have gone on garden forums and looked hard for this stuff and figured out his social security number. It's not hacking, it's social engineering. It's still illegal, but that's what it is, that's what it was. Yes, there are 2,000 combinations like someone mentioned, but look hard enough and you can eliminate quite a few combinations. This guy worked hard. He knew Phil's last 4 digits of his social security number because it was revealed on the bankruptcy forums, not the bankruptcy documents even. Saying his last 4 digits encoded. Apparently, the way social security numbers work for people that were born in the 80s, at least in America, or that part of America, was that it follows a certain pattern. So that's what this guy's talking about, how he basically just brute forced his way for a whole bunch of different combinations until it let him in, which is just fucking terrifying. Personally, I think that's fucking scary as hell to see that kind of thing happening. But the end result, obviously, was getting Phil's financial information. And it kind of says here, everyone is vulnerable to identity theft. Even if you have no socials, there are databases out there full of people's private information, especially in garden forums on the dark web. We have no idea who this Boof guy is. He came out of nowhere, made an account, revealed this information. A week later, seems to have vanished off the face of the earth. We have not heard from him after like a week after this, or something like that, or 2 weeks after this. He has not been back since. And this is what I'm saying. It's not as if it was a whole army of detractors. As far as we know, this was a one-man operation. That's what I'm saying. Look at this. He honestly regrets sharing Phil's bank account number. I was hoping people would use it for informational purposes only. I couldn't gain access to his online banking account. but I'm sure I could have if I tried. I didn't want people to overdraft his account. Hopefully his bank figures out his fraud and gets it in order. Phil, if you're reading this, I apologise for sharing your bank account number. This is what I'm saying. It's one of these things. This guy, it seems like he wanted information, but he didn't want people to go crazy with it and just contact the number like crazy, that try and find the details all the time. So many people try to chase up the details that it kind of throws Phil's account into a state of being frozen. His account got frozen because of suspected fraud, and so the transaction automatically went, the balance in his account went to like $888,000 or something, which is a default value that it goes to for things like this, or negative $888,000. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, he kind of reveals all this information here. Enjoy yourself from Phil. It was a fun little legal project for the past several weeks, but I'm a law-abiding citizen for the most part. And he's just going to leave future things to everyone else. Good luck, don't fuck around with Phil too much. He's a human too. With his information, I could have easily gotten to Phil's tax returns from the IRS, but he does not want to fuck with the IRS, which is a good point. Even the Joker doesn't fuck with the IRS, so there you go. But I thought it was a very interesting bit of information from Boof to try and clarify what he did. This is like a day later, I think it was. But that's what I'm saying. People still had his raw information. They're trying to break it down and digest it. So Phil naturally does address this on a few days later in a pre-stream. And he kind of has a few different points to make. This is one of them.
Now, without going into too much detail because I can't, what I can tell you is this, okay? You can absolutely not believe everything you're hearing on the internet, okay? Although most of the crap that's always said about me on the internet is very simple. It's half-truths. It's someone takes, as I've called it over the years, a nugget of truth, and they spin it to be something that it's not. They'll take something that's true and then use that as the grounds to now create a giant flood of misinformation and say, well, you see, this piece of it is true, so the rest of it must be true too. And I've been the victim of this many, many years, people making these conspiracy theories and crazy shit up about me, and I just can't seem to dodge it no matter what I do. Because times that I've tried to debunk things and things have always backfired. What ends up happening is when I'm in the process of debunking something else is revealed that's now used to hurt me. Or people would do what's called moving the goalpost. All right?
No. When you try and debunk something, Phil, you never provide evidence usually. People have evidence to use against you. You just say, nah, not true, and then just hope that people believe you. You very rarely provide evidence for things you try and debunk, which is why your arguments usually fall flat in its face. That is just a simple truth of the matter. That's not me being mean. Anytime Phil has tried and attempted to debunk things, usually that argument just falls flat because he doesn't even provide any factual evidence to back up his claims. Or any evidence, not even fucking factual. The only time I've seen Phil try and provide evidence of anything is waving a bit of A4 paper around and saying, this is my bills. It's unbelievable. There's also a lot more to this pre-stream. This was clipped by Annie and 1337. I would recommend subscribing to them if you don't, because they provide a lot of good high quality DSP clips. He seems to capture a few of them, so subscribe like I have. I would recommend it. 17,000 views this has got. Sad that fucking took off. But so Phil had a big 20-minute pre-stream. He couldn't actually reveal much. Let's actually look at the comments in this video. How can you admit to being a victim of a crime and then tell people that info gathered from that crime is all bullshit and lies? You can't play the fence here. Pick one, Phil. That's a very good point. Phil's claiming he was a victim of identity theft. It kind of was in a sense because the guy used Phil's private information to pretend to be him to access that account. That's kind of identity theft. And Phil was saying that he was a victim of identity theft as well. But he's also saying that the information obtained from this is not true. But there's a lot of things that Phil said in this which was weird. So Boof came back to Kiwi Farms on the same day as this pre-stream happened, and he just said, look, he listened to his pre-stream, he threw a bunch of stuff out there about leaks, and I felt I had to address some of it. First thing DSP had said is there's a group of hackers working day and night to ruin Phil's life. Boof admits he was working alone. He doesn't know if there's other people who are also trying to get into Phil's accounts at the time he was. For all he knows, he was the only person recently who did so. And he stopped doing stuff after Sunday of this week. Got into the mortgage account on Saturday night, filled some credit reports, that was it. It was a social engineering attack. so it was not a hack. His mortgage company's website didn't even require a full social security number to access his account. Wow, that's very poor security from them. So them spending weeks figuring out his full SSN was actually not needed. Still, he used it to pull his credit reports regardless. Second point, trolls opened a bunch of accounts in his name. Now, he admits he tried to open a credit monitoring account to get his credit score, but the system kept him from creating one, seeing the attempt as potentially fraudulent. And obviously it was fraudulent because it working wasn't well. He was not successful there. He did not attempt to, nor was he successful in opening up any new accounts in Phil's name of any kind, nor has he attempted to borrow any money in Phil's name. So, yeah, there we go. Trolls are doing all this fucked up stuff. Boof doesn't know what people have been doing to Phil's accounts outside of themselves, but besides leaking Phil's bank account number, a copy of his mortgage statement, and 2 of his credit reports, he didn't do anything else, which is kind of true. A lot of people just took the information that he provided at first and ran with it. Trolls got into a bunch of Phil's accounts. I was only able to access his mortgage. I'm going between pretending I'm him and also saying it as if I'm not him. I'm not going to read it word for word. Boof was able to access his mortgage account. He did not have full access to his bank account as he was stopped by 2-factor authentication and didn't want to go through the work of doing a SIM swap. His phone number has been public for years and he still hasn't changed it. The bank and phone options were limited and required you to speak to a live representative to do anything substantial. Phil fucked up here by not using a telephonic PIN to secure his bank account when he knew that trolls don't want to steal his money, they just want his financial information, which is very true. A lot of people have been very curious about Phil's financial information, myself included. I wouldn't want to steal from Phil. I don't think anyone would really, well, I don't know, Phil does earn a lot of money, but the bank leaks show he also spends a lot of money. But the fact is, though, information is power. And this was a whole lot of information for the trolls and the fans alike, and Phil spent 20 minutes trying to spin it as it's identity theft and it's fraud and it's also not real. He kind of tried to hint that the information was not true, as you kind of heard me from that wee clip there. Like I'm saying, you can't believe everything you hear on the internet. I say believe what you see from the leaks. And as I said, this was an illegal thing that Boof did. And no one, it came out of nowhere, But the fact is that he put information out there, and so people saw that information and gobbled it up as best as they could. So how did he do this? And this is, you might be thinking what happened next, and I'll try and cover it as best as I can. So people got access to things like the bank, the start of the bank leaks, and they were looking at things like what were these transactions and what is 1651 to PayPal, for example. And people worked out that it was to do with a sales tax rate. Digital purchase transactions typically round up to a near a cent. So you got 14.99 times 1.101, which is a 10.1 sales tax, equals 16.5039, but it rounds up to 16.51. And basically that means that 14.99 is things that are kind of covered on WWE champions. These kind of microtransactions on there happens all the damn time. It tells us on the next page actually. Obviously, people also discovered his total wine, was it called or something? His alcohol spending as well. People had fun figuring that shit out. A 14.99 purchase would total to 16.51, and one of the primary things you can buy in WWE Champions, these pools, or whatever, is these things that cost 14.99, which is kind of, and there's a whole lot of them. There's tons of 16.51 transactions. So yeah. And of course, Bahama Breeze as well. That was one of the ones from September. So people kind of worked their way backwards, it looked like, to try and find out information. This was the very start, this was the first day, essentially, of the bank leaks happening. So they kind of figured out that even though it wasn't coming up as Scopuli, or however you want to pronounce it, there was obviously clearly some kind of microtransactions being purchased. And obviously, the more time went on, more people found out. Let's fast forward a little bit. This guy called Proven Wrong, he was a key figure in getting this information, because even though he was not the one responsible for, he wasn't Boof. Boof went and done all the legal work. So Boof is like, I've got this information, I've got his bank account number, here is how you figure out how to, find out yourselves what Phil's got. And this guy called Proven Wrong made a bunch of videos narrating the automated phone call process of Bank of America, where you can get your transaction history read out. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are not available anymore. You try and click on it, it doesn't come up as it's like it's gone. It's like an error. You must be logged into that as well. Fuck it. I'm not gonna log into Kiwi Farms. I'm logged in. I'm not logged in here, but fuck it. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so proven wrong, very key integral part of this, because he uploaded everything as YouTube video clips, which no longer exist. He has removed them now. But the whole point of him uploading everything from these automated phone calls to figure out these transactions, the point of that was to try and get some kind of YouTube script. So I had it up on YouTube. YouTube provided the captions. You can download the captions, and from there you can transfer that to a spreadsheet. And obviously, after doing all this, people were able to obtain a whole bunch of debits and credits with specific dates as well. So even though it was not proven wrong, post, this is a guy called Positive. That's his post, but this guy proven wrong. I just thought I'd highlight he was doing all this work, so he basically picked up the ball that Boof had dropped. Well, not dropped. I mean, it didn't drop the ball. Boof just kind of fucking parked it there and said, "All right, somebody do whatever you want." But proven wrong just went fucking ham and got all these transcripts, uploaded them all to YouTube, and from there we had guys that are also looking into it themselves to break down things for like a month per month basis. This guy called Mr. Brown just went through some of his spending habits, and it made a very interesting chart as well. I don't think I'm not sure what dates this is for specifically. I think it's specifically only for 3 months. I think it's 3 months of spending. It looks like, and in 3 months, Phil had spent $1,000 in alcohol, eating out, spent $2,300, groceries almost $4,000, taxes $4,800. Let's be honest. WWE champions over 8,000. Although it doesn't show as WWE champions, it shows up as iTunes or whatever. But he just labelled it as WWE champions. This was a very early example of people trying to make a pie chart. This was a day later, essentially. You got Mr. Brown trying to break down information, and obviously there's quite a lot of it. And 6% on eating out doesn't seem much, as he says, but that's $1,000 per month, which is incredible. So from there, we had Koshardil. Koshardil was a very important person as well in all this, because he took proven wrongs YouTube transcripts and he decided to basically try and make it into spreadsheets, CSV files, and he has them here, for example. These are all debits, these are all credits. I'm not going to open them because it's just, no, I don't want to fucking open them. Fucking don't care. They exist anyway. If you want to fucking check it yourself, you can. But this is basically everything that the automated Bank of America bot, whatever, were reading out as transaction history from debits and credits. But I don't even think it was all of them. It just says here we have coverage from the 2nd of January 2021 to, the 1st of February 2021 to 17th of September 2021. So they were still trying to work their way back. This is one day after the leaks, keep in mind. So there was a lot of effort going in by some people to try and get as much information as possible. They were able to go back 18 months to March 2020, and they're still trying to figure out and brainstorm what was what. And what does he buy from overseas? What's occasional international transaction fee? He gets credited 3 times for a few $100 a piece. Did he make that much money that day or what? 2 times 1,000 mobile banking deposits on 12th of March. That's actually a strange one. I've picked up before in previous videos where it's like a strange transaction. Like, we don't know why. It seems to be a flat rate. It seems to come in. It could be his parents or something giving him money or something. Who knows? But piece of piece as well was like someone suggested, this guy called Phoenix. Would be a nice meme or whatever to have these on a tips tracker, and piece of piece was like, yeah, no problem. So that's something you gotta keep in mind. Piece of piece already had his tips tracker for tracking all the tips. That's what he done it for. he started doing it, and when Twitch kicked him off the platform, off the partnership program even, I think Piece of Peace started logging it, or maybe even right before it, I'm not sure. But ever since then, Piece of Peace was like, I'm going to track all these tips, and obviously has all the information, all the raw data, and from these bank leaks, he was able to also make more information and get more data. So he was able to, just compartmentalize all this information into one glorious little tips tracker. But as a kind of when it was born, someone's like, yeah, it's a Piece of Peace. You want to do this? And he's like, hell yeah. Christ, man. But after this, we have, well, that's what I'm saying, we have a tips tracker finally come to fruition. Tips tracker's been updated with the leak info. I'll pass through it for category updates when I get some time, because there was some information which wasn't fully known at the time. Like, there was some transactions, and also this is a tips tracker here, but it's Dill who's responsible for collecting all information to spreadsheet format for Piece of Peace to obviously make into his own spreadsheet here. He says the microtransactions estimate is too high in his opinion, and he thinks it should be cut back to only champions-like amounts. The other transactions are probably just miscellaneous online shopping. Now, what he means by that, if I can demonstrate. Well, we're actually on the bank leaks right now, it's good. Fucking handy. Sort from A to Z. This might take a while. Applications. Let's pay it. Can I scroll down? Fuck you, DoorDash. Can I scroll down? PayPal. There we go. So a lot of these are flat amounts, which are probably related to iTunes. I don't want to just say fucking WWE champions, even though I kind of know it is. I wonder if we can sort it by amounts as well. Well, let's sort alphabetically as well. Not really. Okay, fuck it. We'll go back to PayPal. Okay. Actually, isn't it sorted by amounts anyway as well? Okay, there we go. PayPal. So fucking scroll to the top of PayPal. So there we go. So PayPal has a bunch of different various amounts, so not all these might be microtransactions. This was a Cotterdale's point when he said that. And to be fair, even Piece of Peace mentions as well, a couple of these might need more investigation. It does actually cover that. And also some sign as well, he will say things like this kind of transaction plus the sales taxes, so that's why it's easy to do in multiples. If you see multiples of the same one, it's very likely going to be WWE Champions related, or iTunes related, however you want to fucking word it. But to be fair, it's a good point as well, where a whole lot of it might be nothing to do with WWE Champions or even iTunes. This literally could be I'm using PayPal to do anything else. You can use PayPal to fucking order food. You can use PayPal to buy things online, like clothes and all that shit. So some of these PayPal payments, even though they're obviously related to him using fucking WWE Champions, whatever, they're not all strictly, related to that. But it's hard to kind of differentiate what is and what is not WWE Champion stuff. As you can see here, there is some very slow amounts, even though some are repeat amounts. You've got some unique ones as well. It's very unlikely he's got a random $7.04 iTunes WWE Champions pool. So that could be fucking anything. It could be a fucking fee for all we know from PayPal. I don't know. Actually, I think PayPal shows something different if it's fees. I can't mind. I really don't. But yeah, you can see here he's added notes when he can, Piece of Peace. So it's like, yeah, this is relating to WWE Champions because of this, plus the sales tax, whatever. And here we go, he's even flagged some in his review, and these are some large PayPal debits as well. Flagging from annual review. We have no idea what it could be. It's just a guesstimate. We'd need to see the PayPal side of things, like the statement account information, to get a rough idea why that would be. It's funny, it's very interesting these are both the same amount, and they're from the same day as well, aren't they? Here they are. It's very strange, yeah. Yeah, for the most part, though, these are related to iTunes. Jesus Christ, how many is of sort of same amount? This is insanity. This is all just PayPal. Give me a second to derail myself from fucking the point I was trying to make. Okay, that on its own, just the ones where he spends $100 per pool. It's not just $100 obviously because you've got a sales tax as well, so it's $99.99. plus that dumbass sales tax. $8,146.66. And that's just obviously from fucking the PayPal side of things. You go up here where you've got fucking Apple iTunes. And you've got them existing up here as well. Look, there they are as well. So hang on. Give me a second, guys, while I completely derail myself by doing this little dumbass little bit of maths here. Give me a second. I just want to specifically see how many separate times Phil, in the space of 18 months, did these $100. Oh, it was more as well. Actually goes up slightly. Is that because the sales tax increased slightly? Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. This is all for science. For science. Well, so let's break down these numbers very quickly. There are 191 instances where Phil spent $100, and then tax on top of that, on Apple, iTunes, PayPal microtransactions. 191 times he did that. And the sum of all that together is $21,023.67. And keep in mind, this is only the $99.99 ones. I just counted everything that were $99.99. I ignored the $16.51s. I ignored all that shit. Actually, I got very distracted there because I was just curious what it was like. But my main point of this video was to show the history of the Bank Leak stuff. You know, obviously I love pouring into the Bank Leak stuff. Piece of Peace done amazing work, and it's not just him. He obviously was like produced the end product, but he was using the spreadsheet that Kosh or Dill had produced. Kosh or Dill got the spreadsheet by using the phone information from the YouTube transcripts that proven wrong. The guy's name was Proven Warrior, I can't mind. And he got it from that. And obviously he went and got the information to find us in the first place, because Boof did something very dodgy and illegal, and they vanished ever since, and we can't really talk to them about it. But yeah, I just thought it was a very interesting dive. I thought I would try and present this information as best as I could. This information is factual, right? It's not as if a case of this is fabricated information. This is the statement information from Phil's bank account. It was illegally obtained. I think we can all agree that the information should not have been gathered this way. You know what I mean? It's illegal what happened to Phil. The guy admitted it. The guy admitted guilt. He says what he did was very fucking illegal. This is social engineering. It's a crime. But at the same time, the information is out there. It's for public consumption. And it's one of these things where it's out there now, and it's fascinating to look at. Not one of these transactions is a lie. What is a bit murky is what is and is not related to Apple iTunes, microtransactions, WWE champions, let's be honest. That is the kind of murky area where we're not sure what is and isn't related to the fucking... Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you're a fan of DSP, are you not curious why he's got so much spending on Apple iTunes and also PayPal for the same amount every time? Why is he spending $100, sorry, $99.99 plus tax on 191 separate occasions within the space of 18 months? It's incredible. Did I miss some? No, I didn't miss some. These are more expensive ones. Okay, I thought I missed some there. It's not just obviously, it's far more, you can see. It's just insanity. It really is insanity. But as I said, I would recommend looking over the Bank Leak yourself. If you're interested in information and how Phil spends his money between March of 2020, September of 2021, if you're curious about certain things like how much does he spend on DoorDash, how much does he spend on groceries, how much did he get from YouTube, how much did he get from Twitch, etc., etc., I would recommend checking out Piece of Peace's amazing tracker. He's got all this information logged, and now you know the history of it. You know the lore behind the tips tracker and the bank leak. Well, not the tips tracker itself, but the Bank Leak side of things. You know the history behind that now. It started by a random detractor who came out of nowhere and said, "This is information, have fun with it." And the detractors, they certainly had fun with it and found out a lot of information that Phil wished people did not know about. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. This has been King Jad. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it's so long, but it's a very interesting topic, I think. I just wanted to get out there. But yeah, as I'm King Jad, hope you enjoyed. Peace out.